Okay, not a great job, but it's still making it. Very confused. Turn signal is on. Okay, I'm not mad at that. It previously couldn't do this at all. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We truly appreciate it. We've got the latest update for Full Self-Driving Beta 10.5. We're going to go through the different release notes, talk about what new improvements are included, as well as any additional feature updates that we may have missed through the public releases. We'll talk about that as well. Let's jump right into it right now. Okay, Full Self-Driving Beta 10.5. Let's get into it. Let's zoom in a little bit so you guys can take a look at the release notes a little bit better. And what do we have here? So Full Self-Driving Beta terms. So what they've done here is they've reestablished the terms of engagement, the terms in which you are using Full Self-Driving. And so they've automatically deactivated the Full Self-Driving Beta feature in your car until you agree to those terms. So when you first get this update, Full Self-Driving Beta will be disabled. You have to press the button and therefore acknowledge the terms in order for you to re-enable that. Let's take a look at that real quickly, see what that looks like. We have autopilot. We have Full Self-Driving Beta is deactivated. So in order to activate it, we activate it here. Here are the new terms. You click it, you say yes, and now you have Full Self-Driving Beta activated. Obviously, you want to read it and make sure you understand what it means and what it's requiring of you. All right, so that's the new one. The other one is about suspension, being suspended from Full Self-Driving Beta based on you using the system properly and you accounting for the sort of autopilot jail where the system force disengages you, right? So it says, for maximum safety and accountability, Full Self-Driving Beta will not operate if improper usage is detected. Improper usage is considered when you or another driver of your vehicle receives 2 forced autopilot disengagements. This is when the autopilot system disengages for the remainder of a trip after the driver has received several audio and visual warnings for inattentiveness. Keep your hands on the wheel and remain attentive at all times. So again, as this becomes more available to more people, Tesla's doubling down, making sure that they govern it correctly, making sure that they penalize people who are not using it correctly. So that's pretty good. The actual release notes for Full Self-Driving Beta version 10.5 are as follows. Improve VRU, pedestrian, bicyclists, motorcycles, crossing velocity error by 20% from improved quality in our auto labeling. Improve static world predictions, road lines, edges, and lane connectivity by up to 13% using a new static world auto labeler and adding 165,000 auto labeled videos. That's pretty cool. Improve cone and sign detection by upreaving the generalized static object networks with 15,000 more video clips and adjusting oversampling and overweighting strategies, plus 4.5% precision, plus 10.4% recall. Improve cut-in detection network by 5.5% to help reduce false slowdowns. That's a big one. Enabled emergency collision avoidance maneuvering in shadow mode. That's also a big one. Enabled behavior to lane change away from merges when safe to do so. Improved merge object detection recall by using multimodal object predictions at intersections. Improved control for merges by increasing smoothness of arrival time constraints and considering possible merging objects beyond visibility. Improve lane changes by allowing larger deceleration limit in short deadline situations. Improve lateral control for creeping forward to get more visibility. Improve modeling of road boundaries on high curvature roads for finer maneuvers. Improve logic to stay on route and avoid unnecessary detours when rerouting. And then it just tells you to press the video button when incorrect maneuvers are detected. And then the rest of it is just a typical full self-driving sort of beta disclaimer in terms of when it came out. Okay, So that's pretty much what we have here. We're going to test all those out. A lot of this seems like maybe something that's a little bit over your comprehension, but just know that they're leveraging all of the videos of people using full self-driving beta. The more people that are using it, the more data they get, the more they're able to reincorporate that video and that data that it's receiving into the overall system to improve everyone's car driving on full self-driving beta. That's the majority of it. In addition to that, we're talking about increased precision in terms of how the vehicle creeps forward, increased precision of identifying road markings, lane markings, and road boundaries on very curvy roads. We're talking about the shadow mode for emergency vehicle maneuvers. So emergency maneuvers for emergency vehicles, such as driving down a road, a ambulance or police cars coming. How do you maneuver around that? How do you pull over to the side as you're supposed to allow them to pass? Things like that. Or if they're halfway in the road, how to maneuver around that safely to be able to get around them without causing an incident. So these are all good things to have happen in the car, plus a bunch of others. I think what we're just going to do is test out some different scenarios to see how it actually performs. Again, winding roads, turning, how it turns. That's pretty much the key thing. And how much confidence it's going to give us with this new update and these new enhancements and these additional auto-labeled videos that can help the system improve over and over again. Okay, so we're going to check that out in just a bit. We also have the live camera access. This is something that has been released in the previous update, but as of this video now, the Android phones have actually been updated. The Android app, that is, has been updated to be able to take advantage of that. So we'll look at that as well. And Tesla, you definitely got to improve on the timeline before when you release for iOS versus Android. It's pretty bad. All right, so Sentry mode live camera access. You can now view your car's surroundings from the Tesla app when parked to confirm the safety of your environment before returning to your car. Live camera is end-to-end encrypted and cannot be accessed by Tesla. To enable or disable, tap Control, Safety, Live View in the mobile app, and then you can actually use the touchscreen to also enable it in the car. So let's take a look at that right now. All right, guys, we have the latest Tesla app for Android. Finally got that updated. And then we have full self-driving beta 10.5 in the car. So we also have Live Sentry enabled in the car. And effectively what happens is when we go into the app here, we now have the ability to view live camera. So we can click on this and it gives us a live feed of what our cameras see in the car. It loads right up, shows the front camera first to show you what's there, shows you what the other cameras look like as well. You can go left, right, as well as the rear. See that? Go rear. Go back to the front. You can flash the lights. A little bit of a delay. You can use the horn. And more importantly and more fun, you could actually talk. So you press the button here and you talk.
Where are they? Tell me where they are. What are you doing? I can see you. Give me a name. Give me a name. Deactivate interrogation mode.
Pretty cool stuff. In addition to that, we also have the ability to customize the buttons on the app. So we talked about the Tesla app being updated with the new animations, and we were pretty bummed at the choice of using the frunk as one of the primary options instead of the trunk. So now Tesla said, hey, I know what to do. We'll give you the ability to customize these buttons. So now you can long press on each of those buttons, those quick buttons, and you can choose from a variety of different features, whether the car is locked or unlocked, start, climate on or off, charging, bioweapon defense, lights, trunk, frunk, defrost the car, Sentry mode, summon, etc. So this is a really good way for you to customize the experience to what makes sense for you. All right. So that's pretty much it for the mobile app. Let's jump back in the car and let's talk about 10.5 full self-driving beta. Some construction here. I'm going to disengage if it gets too crazy because the cars are coming on the opposite side of the line here. So far it's doing a good job, but it kind of wants to recenter itself and I disengage by accident. Re-engaging right now. Again, construction is not really where you want to use this. It's doing a good job staying away, but it's also wanting to get back re-engaged. That's not good. And a big truck is coming. So I will likely disengage right here. I don't want to see it try to swerve around this truck. Now it's re-engaged. Hopefully I can get to the left lane to make the turn. There we go. So far so good. Slows down. This is the turn we have problems with. Kind of wanted to take it. Let's not gamble. Still trying to creep up. I'm having my hand hovering nervously over the brake as it tries to sneak in here for traffic. It needs to be a little bit more patient. It's still trying to jump out there really quickly. It's like very, very nervous, juddery. I'll let it go just so it can make this turn and I don't disengage. Turns much better, but got closer to the curb. Didn't really like that. Lots of garbage cans and stuff blowing around here. It does a good job of at least recognizing and getting around them. Sees the pedestrian, starts to hesitate a little bit. All right, a little close to the curb. This is an unmarked lane, so it should show the path here that's showing it where it wants to go around this car. Sees another car coming. Much better than before so far. Much more composed on this unmarked road right now. So that's pretty cool. Stopping at the stop sign. Going forward. I'll let it do its thing. Good job. Yeah, much more composed this time. Much more composed than the last version. Much better. Slows down here. I'll let go so it can make the turn without me disengaging. Going very slowly. A little herky-jerky. Very good, Tesla. Very good. Good job. Okay, let me try this way. There we go. Again, I'm just taking my hand off the wheel when it turns because it sometimes disengages the yoke. Comes to a stop. I'm prepared to take over, but it's going very slowly. So it's creeping up very slowly, turning very aggressively, and then it labels out very stable. This is pretty good. I want to slow down a little bit because it's a little hot here, a little fast. I wanted to go exactly the speed limit. I'll change that in the settings later. Gets these cars nicely. Perfect job. Coming up to the stop sign. Not even a stop sign. Sign is missing. Creeps ahead, checking for visibility, then makes the turn. I like that. That was a good turn. That was nice and smooth. That was natural. That gave me confidence that I knew it was what it was doing and wasn't going to run into the curb. Excellent detection of all the curbs that are in this area, as well as the difference, the size that you see here with the leaves. So the leaves add to the non-drivable space. The non-drivable space here that make the curbs look a little bit bigger. Very good job. It seems a little herky-jerky with the yoke and maybe a little smoother with the wheel, but very good job nonetheless. We're going back down here and effectively doing a little bit of a round trip, it seems. But it feels good when it's at speed. So my recommendation, anyone getting this, set it to the speed limit for autopilot. That way you'll feel more comfortable with it. When it starts to go a little bit faster, 5 miles an hour over, 10 miles an hour over, that's when it gets a little scary because it's hard to tell when it's going to brake and how it's going to brake. But so far, so good. Everything that I read about, it seems like it's doing. I haven't encountered, obviously, every scenario. But the scenarios I have encountered all seem good. Yellow light, and it just stops. Good job. Didn't run the yellow light. It is kind of trying to creep on the no turn on red. No turn on red right there. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. I wish there was a way to stop it without disengaging it because it does try to make the turn on red for no turn on red. So this, just like New York is absolutely no turn on red, but in this area in New Jersey, it's conditionally no turn on red. So when the car sees the no turn on red sign, it should definitely heed that sign at all times. All right, so the release notes talked about curb detection, lane marking detection, enhancements and increasing its ability to see and acknowledge those lane marks. Let's put that to the test. We're going to go down this road here. We're going to go down this road here, which has lots of things adding to the lane markings. So you have the white lane markings, you have the double yellow lines, but then you have tons of leaves that are adding to the lane markings. Let's see how it handles that. A little nervous. See how it visualizes that? Very close to the yellow line. And sometimes the white marking goes away. So let's see what happens and see how it takes it. Plus the very, very steep curves. So we talked about increasing its ability to go around curves and handle curves better. We have some very, very sharp, steep curves coming up in succession. Very slow with very little room for error. Very, very interesting to see what full self-driving beta 10.5 can do with this. Now I'm going to go the speed limit. I might even go a little bit slower depending on whether or not pedestrians are in the area. But let's just see what happens. So far, so good. Nice and smooth curve here. I will take my hands away from the yoke when it makes sharp turns because I can disengage the car altogether, but I will keep them handy. Very good, Tesla. It's taking these turns exceptional. This is the really hard one. Someone recently crashed straight through this recently, so hopefully wish me luck. This is not my last video. Slowing down tremendously for this one, going over the line a lot to try to get through. Struggling, no cars are coming. Okay, not a great job, but it's still making it. Very confused. Turn signal is on. Okay, I'm not mad at that. It previously couldn't do this at all. Creating the barrier for the leaves. The leaves are creating additional lane markings that it's adhering to. This is phenomenal. It's going around the border that the leaves are making on the road, covering up the lane markings, so it's effectively adding to it. So it's turning red as opposed to just red and white, what you see here, which is denoting the white lane marking. Going over the yellow line, which I don't like. This is really, really challenging stuff here. No pedestrians, no cyclists, no cars so far. Very scary to experience, but it's also adhering to the leaves. It's not running over the leaves and treating the leaves as a curb. Look at the increased red that you see here. Phenomenal job. Excellent job, Tesla. We need a lot of work to do here, but so far an excellent job. I'm going to keep it here for a minute because this is kind of challenging and I don't want this to mess up and crash into this little median here. So I'm going to take this one and then I'll re-engage once I'm through here. Excellent job. Excellent job. Shows the median, different graphics for the median, I think, here. Curb is here. Excellent job so far, Tesla. This is phenomenal. In just a matter of a couple of weeks, this has gotten exponentially better and more confidence inspiring. Took a very, very challenging test that it previously couldn't handle at all. Cresting a hill, turning down a winding road. Very challenging stuff. Very close to the curb. I almost disengaged with the yoke, just trying to be cautious, but it handled that. Wow, this is special. Four-way stop, always stop. Interested to see how it's going to handle this one. Should be pretty straightforward. Stops, creeps forward, and goes through no problem. Perfect. Perfect. Another Tesla. Please visualize Teslas in the visualization, Tesla. I want to see that Model Y in all its glory right there. Okay. Cars parked on the side of the road amidst the lane. How's it going to handle it? Pathfinder shows me going around it, which is good, but it's waiting to the last minute a little bit. Not too bad. Not too bad. I take that back. It wasn't terrible. It was pretty good. Gets around, centers itself in the lane. Excellent. I feel like I'm doing commentary for some kind of sporting event. Goes around, tries to center again. Swerves back around. I feel like if it sees the car, it should just extrapolate a lane and go straight, as opposed to trying to weave back in, center, then weave back around the car. Coming to a complete stop here at the stoplight. All good stuff. Yeah, it just needs to find its commitment, right? So if it sees multiple cars ahead, it can see ahead. It knows it can see ahead. It should just commit and create a lane based on the fact that I saw cars and just go straight as opposed to weaving around those cars. So far, so good. Suburban America is looking pretty good so far for full self-driving beta right now. The Northeast is looking pretty good. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we make it to the destination before I speak too soon. Tight squeeze here. Pretty good. Yeah, I find this works much, much better when you make it drive the speed limit. When it goes faster, you get all kinds of nervous. Always stop again, which is pretty good. So we have protection to make our turn and go our turn. And it says waiting our turn. Let's see what happens. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Now it's gonna go. Take my hand off so it can make the turn without me disengaging. Pretty close to the curb. I don't like that one. That was pretty scary. Pretty close to the curb. Car is parked right in the middle. Goes around the yellow line. Would love for it to stop and let you acknowledge that it wants to make that maneuver. The maneuver to go over the yellow line, because I want to know that this car can never go over the yellow line unless it's an exceptional case or unless it gets my consent. That's the only way I think it needs some kind of confirmation, going over that yellow line. Stopping abruptly. Pathfinder is all over the place. It wants to go straight. It wants to go this way. I'll keep my foot hovering for this pedestrian in case it tries to do anything funky. It's blocking the other lane, so I can't get in. Let's see what it can do here. It should be getting in the lane. It's in the wrong lane. Last minute change. I don't like that. Still herky-jerky, putting on the brakes, giving it a nudge with the accelerator, giving it a confidence boost. This is a pretty tricky turn from what I recall. I'm not too familiar with this particular area, but this is a pretty tricky turn. So I'm going to leave it here. I like what I've seen. It's done a great job. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you got Full Self-Driving Beta 10.5, what do you think? How is it better than 10.4? If it's your first time getting it, congratulations. Take your time, have extra caution, more than you would a teen driver. Set it to the speed limit, don't put the offset on there, and have a good time and be safe. Until the next time, enjoy your day, enjoy your Tesla.